Series starts with a man named Hyun, who is the right hand of corrupt Chairman Young's of Soonyang Company. Anti-corruption lawyer Young is behind him. Young's family treats Hyun like a servant, even in the company. No one gives him the importance, because he is not well educated. Only a new worker named Shin respects Hyun a little bit. In the next scene, we see before a party Young's son Jin comes to the company and fights with him for property, whereupon Young suffers a heart attack. Jin runs away instead of seeing his father, and Hyun takes care of him. Now, because of Young's illness, Jin becomes the temporary chairman. For this reason, Hyun brings him before anti-corruption team comes with warrant. Hyun makes the evidence disappear. Jin finds a small company's files hidden beneath Soonyang, which he gives to Hyun. Hyun gets upset, because if someone gets to know about this company, and more corruption cases will be made against them. So Hyun takes this file to the chairman's assistant Kim, and there he discovers from dismantling Kim's files that Kim already knew all this, but he himself wants to take money from the company, hiding it from Jin. Hyun here goes against his principles and informs Jin about the company, whereupon Jin fires Kim and gives a promotion to Hyun, asks him to go to the country where this company is. Hyun goes there and withdraws the money of the company, but he was unaware that Jin's cousin was plotting against him. Some criminals take Hyun unconscious with them, and when he regains consciousness, Hyun sees Shin standing with the criminals in front of him. Shin on the thing learned from Hyun the pursuit of progress. He came to kill Hyun on the orders of someone from the chairman's family, and he shoots Hyun with tears in his eyes. Hyun feels himself falling from the mountains, but when he opened his eyes, he was in a car with the chairman's brother and his family, where it seems from his talk that Hyun is also his son. When Hyun looks at himself in the mirror, he comes to know that now that little child Dae-yoon, and seeing the building, it is known that he has been born again far behind his time, and this thing gets confirmed when he comes out of the car and meets the rest of the family, and meets the founder of the company Cole, who is now his grandfather. Hyun, who is now Dae-yoon, is the son of Yoon, the son of Cole, whom Cole had kicked out of his house to get married as per his choice, and now after 10 years with his family he has come to Cole's birthday party. Hyun now had another chance to make things right in the form of Dae-yoon. That's why he starts thinking that what he remembers about the future after 1987, and he remembers everything and goes to Cole's house to apologize for breaking vase. He gives Cole some information about the election that is about to start for president, on which he didn't believe at first and kicks him out. But when all is true, Cole calls Dae-yoon back. Cole asks him such a question. If he gets the answer, he can solve his big issues. A business of Cole was at a loss for which he needed some ideas. Dae-yoon gives of this issue, but at the same time, he remembers that the plane on which Cole is returning from a business trip has been bombed by terrorists. Dae-yoon tries a lot that Cole not to go on that flight, but fails in a last-ditch effort. He calls Cole's assistant and gives him the note. But then when news of the plane arrives, Dae-yoon realizes that he could not save Cole, but Cole comes back safely because he read Dae-yoon's note. The reason why he didn't board the ship. Dae-yoon finally succeeds in winning Cole's heart, and Cole accepts him and his family and makes a general announcement to everyone. Everyone doesn't seem happy to hear that. Seeing this, Dae-yoon thinks that someone from the people present here had got him killed. Days pass and Dae-yoon takes admission in law college. Along with this, he built apartments on the land taken from Cole, which increases the cost of the land, and Cole gives his earnings to Dae-yoon, on which Cole's sons and daughters are not happy. But without worrying about this, Dae-yoon goes to America with Yoon and his brother, where he knows about the famous movies, only invests in them only. At the same time, he becomes friends with a man named Mason. Dae-yoon goes to college, where he discovers his driver is keeping an eye on him, but he doesn't care because despite being watched, he does what no one expected. In fact, he is using Mason as a pawn to destroy Cole's business slowly, because he want to acquire their company Soonyang. Dae-yoon's plan is understood when Cole suspects Dae-yoon, after seeing pictures of Dae-yoon and Mason together. Because of this, Cole also asks Dae-yoon about his investments in America. When Dae-yoon only talks about movies, suspicion grows on him, and it turns into belief when they get a recording of Mason and Dae-yoon talking. When Cole calls Mason to meet, he learns that Dae-yoon invests money in Amazon. Also, Mason talks in front of Cole and Jung in such a way that Dae-yoon suspects Jung's top brother Dang, because their enemy company was not investing due to lack of money, but now they got money, which was given by Dang. Cole knows everything, but does nothing to find out the capability of the Jung, and Jung proves himself and buys the company by taking a loan increasing offer. But the real story inside is that all this is done by Dae-yoon, who wants to get the Soonyang company himself by making the two brothers fight. After being successful in his plan, Dae-jun, using knowledge about future, takes another step to acquire Soonyang. Actually, that year the IMF crisis come, which becomes the bias of the bankrupt of many companies. Dae-jun knew about all this. He had already converted his money into dollars, because of which he was rich, even when everyone lost their money. Partnership with Mason give his company the name of Miracle, advised to buy Aujin Motors, a bankrupt company. The reason for this was that in his old life, his father used to work in that company. But he was fired when the company got liquidated, and he was not getting any other job as a result of these circumstances. His mother died in front of his eyes. Dae-jun wants to buy this company, but he knows that Cole also wants to buy this company to save Soonyang Motors. That's why he sends Mason to deal with the CEO of Aujin, which is done. But the day Mason was getting Aujin, Cole published wrong news against Mason's company, with the help of his friend's newspaper, the same friend whose daughter Hyun-jin has a relationship with. Now, because of this, the president of the country is not ready to give the company to Mason. Dae-jun tells Mason his plan, and sends him to Cole, where Mason was not only willing to pay Cole the money to buy Aujin Motors, also offers to help him pay off the loan. But instead of that, he wants some shares of Cole's company. Cole doesn't think this is a cheap deal, so he gives shares to Mason. Also, according to Mason's deal, no employee gets fired, on which Dae-jun very happily goes to see his old father and finds out, even though after not happening incidents in previous life, his mother died, Dae-jun finds out that his mother took her own life, and the reason was that the company in which her money was invested, this company was diminished by Cole. So there is no stress on the investors, and Soonyang's main company continued to run smoothly, hiding from the government. That's why he thought it better to drown the money of the common people, on which at first Dae-jun gets very angry. But over time he begins to understand that all in his family are good businessmen, but not the one who cares for the poor. Rather, they think of their profit like a typical businessman. Seeing this, Dae-jun thinks of setting up a digital media city in Seoul, because he knows that in the future Korean culture will become popular all over the world, for which it became necessary. And Dae-jun also learns that Cole Jin-woo himself went to Soonyang's construction company. Through that he wants to buy land to build. That's why Dae-jun uses Cole's son-in-law Choi to make him mayor despite Cole's opposition. And then through that, he acquires the land from his newly purchased construction company. Cole could not tolerate this, so he used the lawyers he knew. Dae-jun's Miracle Investments office is searched due to false accusation, so that by force, he can meet the real owner of the company, means Dae-jun. And he does not expect that Dae-jun will come in front of him and tell the truth without fear. Dae-jun explains to him that he wants to buy Soonyang, because he knows that because of Cole's principle of giving company only to the eldest son, in Dae-jun's previous life, he saw the diminishing of the company being Hyun. That's why he didn't see the company built by Cole's hard work getting into trouble. Wants to break Cole's principle, wants to get Soonyang, for which he blackmails Cole, ignoring his threaten, and Cole just keeps on getting angry. Even then Cole does not give up, goes to Yoon, gives him company suffering from measles, because when Cole had expelled Yoon from the family, he had also said that none of Yoon's sons can inherit property. But now he is forced to do this to make them retreat, because in his opinion, he is using Dae-jun to get the company. Cole does not stop here only, but he makes Jin stand in his place to take his revenge. But Jin stops the media companies that were supposed to work with Miracle and DMC, due to which Mason and Dae-jun have a lot of trouble. They don't lose courage even for a moment to find solution. They contacted game and cartoon making companies. Everyone agrees, but there is a condition to meet Dae-jun. When Dae-jun goes to meet them, he learns that Hyun was behind it. She had already refused to marry Jin because of failing of the project, because after knowing the owner of Miracle, now she wants to marry Dae-jun. But Dae-jun flatly refuses him. After this he meets Yoon, who was ready to go against his dad and support his son. Dae-jun is happy to get support, but he was upset to see his dream of DMC not being fulfilled, because he rejected Hyun's offer of marriage. His help was also rejected, so now he had to find some other solution. Dae-jun finds a solution with his intelligence, for which he goes to meet the chairman of Soonyang's enemy company, those who are lured and asked to buy online shopping channels, which he will include in DMC, and the chairman agrees to it. Jin's conversation with Hyun at his wedding reveals that he knew about Hyun's liking for Dae-jun, and he insults her because of this. But Hyun married Jin instead of leaving because of her greed. After which, during the photo taking, Dae-jun comes and tells Cole something that he starts thinking Cole is when he is told to come the chairman of Dae-yoon, who tell him about Dae-jun's intelligence, say that Dae-jun is just like Cole. Cole gets shocked, seen in some deep thought. Jin comes to know that what he was thinking, that the project of DMC is his. he comes to know that once again, Do-jun has given a bet on which he cannot do anything even if he gets angry. Jin acts normally at dinner because he knows that Cole will give him the shares as a wedding gift. But Cole gives the notice of transfer instead and declares that he is ending the principle of giving everything to his eldest son. He is now giving everyone a chance to get Soonyang. By showing their skill, Cole leaves, and Jin understands that Cole is doing all this because of Do-jun, so he angrily goes to hit him. But Hyun pretends to be unconscious, diverts everyone's attention. After all this, Cole gives some companies to everyone, so that they can take care of them and show their expertise. But they all know that because of Do-jun, Cole has changed his principle. That's why they start trying to remove from the way in which they try to use Mason. Do-jun, who is aware of them in advance, lays such a trap that, slowly, all three brothers and sisters get surrounded by it and lose their money. Now, what will happen next? See you in the next video. Thank you for watching.